Hello. So the topic that I got was who can delegate, and the title of the article that I picked was Nursing Delegation and Medication Administration in Assisted Living. So the main summary of the article is that it provides an overview into assisted living and the premise into bringing care and services into the home of an older adult with some type of staffing and how that varies from state to state, specifically regarding medication administration. And the type of staffing that they're really talking about are RNs in general, LVN, or some type of direct care worker, or DCW as the article defines them as. So like a CNA, MedTech, orderly. The article also spends like a significant amount of time going into nursing delegation principles and how they can be applied within these assisted living situations. And generally, they're talking about nursing delegation because these are the people that are running these type of facilities. Main topics, many of these individuals within assisted living centers are older and they just require a lot of extra help, whether it be feeding, bathing, ambulation, so on and so forth. But medication administration is huge, and that's the main crux of this article. States do vary widely on regulations associated with medication administration. Some requiring that the nurse be solely responsible for handing out these medications, others being a little bit more lax and allowing the direct care workers to do that. And this is dictated upon nurse practice acts that are specific to each state, and different scopes of practice for direct care workers and what's defined within it. So knowing your scope of practice is pretty important. Likewise, states that where nurses are solely responsible for giving them out, they can get around that by kind of changing the definition of what medication administration is, and they like to call it medication assistance. So the direct care worker can assist with giving meds by, giving the cup or opening medication bottles for the individual, or being verbally told that they're allowed to be given medications to the person by the person themselves. So there's just a lot of differentiation between states on what can be done and what can't. So they look to the rules of delegation to dictate if these things can be done safely, which brings me to the second part of the article, which states that RN delegation decisions can be grounded in the principles and protection of public health, safety, and welfare. So as long as those are adhered to, generally it can be done safely, in addition to the 5 rules of delegation, which I'm not going to get totally into, but we know those are the right task, right circumstance, right person, right supervision, and right communication. And so that really goes into my topic of who can delegate, because any task theoretically can be delegated by any person, whether it be the RN, the direct care worker, or the LPN, as long as the 5 rights of delegation are followed and you're able to do it safely. So it doesn't matter the task, as long as you follow those 5 rules, it can be done safely. And that can be brought into my own practice. So understanding not only your own scope of practice, because you can't delegate anything outside it, but understanding other people's scope of practice and what they can do. Having that knowledge is very important in doing our daily tasks as a nurse. And I think that could be totally done. My general critique of the article is that it was good. It was a qualitative analysis and gives you a lot of information on how to delegate a task. And what I thought it could have done better is really draw some conclusions on whether medication administration should actually be delegated or not. It didn't make any solid one way or another points, which could have been a little bit more clear. Other than that, it was referenced very well, had a lot of very recent references, mostly above 2003. Which did give it a lot of credibility. I would have liked to see some scientific, maybe experimental evidence related to medication administration, and if it led to better patient outcomes, or if there was any med errors that led to negative patient outcomes. It would have been nice to see one way or another, but it did provide a lot of information that was purposely ambiguous to let the reader decide what they wanted one way or another. So otherwise, it was a great article. All right. Thank you.